brushing sounds as well. But, it's mostly an aura read on, just your energy, things of that nature. So, the card I did shuffle before, like I typically always do, and the card that came out was the card of Triumph. So, the number 4444. So, comment that number if you maybe have been seeing it around or just anything of that nature. But, this card is a card of, all of that hard work is about to pay off. And your angels want you to know that they see you and that your steadfast commitment to your goals is very inspirational. So, get ready to bask in that sweet, abundant glow of success. So your meanings for this card is just, about achievement and success, obviously, but you also have the card. This is the card of, dedication paying off. So all of whatever work or just creation. So you may not be in that mode of work. You may just be in, creating projects that really mean a lot to you. And when you begin to, tell people about them, or, just start to actually post your content or whatever, and, make people aware of the fact that you sell things, or, that you are very talented, that is what brings your success. So I said achievements. You can achieve something without being conventionally quote unquote successful, right? But really what it is all about is like that dedication, being the dedication to your craft, right? Whatever you're crafting, or the dedication to your mental health, whatever that is. It's like feeling very proud of yourself and you're looking at the big picture. So, an affirmation at this time is, what is meant for me will find its way to me. What is meant for me will find its way to me. So, that's just some energy there for you. To set this whole reading off, I guess I can, just sit this to the side. I'll sit it back here, actually, but, yeah, just setting it off somewhere where it can be close, and that, that's just a part of the energy. So, we're gonna, open up this energy to spirit and see exactly what spirit has for you. And just let me know that you are enjoying the content simply by giving a like. If you would like, to get a great energy exchange going, you have to do something to interact, right? So watching the video is a lot, don't get me wrong, but also, just showing that appreciation or taking an action, taking a step is very helpful as well. So that could be you subscribing to the channel or liking the video. Either way, let's just see what you get as far as your energy. What is your aura that you're carrying around? And also, I'm not like someone who knows and calculates all of the numbers, and I have definitely a great understanding of, what numbers typically mean, but I like to do this reading because this aura, even the cards kind of give you that aura vibe, right? Where you can see like their energetic bodies, and it does have layers to it as well. But yes, numbers are coded in every part of the universe. So, in frequency, in just like DNA, everything that you like learn about, you'll learn about it in some sort of numbered structure, or it'll be involving numbers in a like coded type of way. So we can't undersell the value of numbers, right? Extremely important. You can't get your day started without it, right? I just wanted to preface that. Now let's shuffle and see. yes, we have 444, of course. So 22 coming out. Being half of that is amazing. So harmony, the card of harmony, harmony, harmony. I'm wondering if I want to do a reading. I'll do one for each, right? So I'll give each number its own dedicated time. So the number 22, 22, 22. 22 is that number of harmony. Also talking about, duality. I feel like the reading that I did yesterday has a lot about this as well. So duality is a part of the human experience. The challenge lies in finding a harmony among all of your beautiful facets, multifaceted beings, right? So this is a call to address any imbalances that may be throwing your energy out of whack. Are you open to the connections around you? Asking yourself that, Are you open to the energy around you? That energy of being surrounded by, just loving energies, wisdom, all of that has a frequency and energy to it, right? So energy isn't just some like woo-woo thing, of course. It is something, very in-depth about, how you're feeling, and not just about how you're feeling, but the energetic number and the signal that you're sending out, and whatever you are sending out is being returned to you. So, adapting to strike a balance in your life, understanding and getting reciprocity in all of your relationships as well. And right now, you may even be seeking connections and collaborations. So, right now, your affirmation is, I am grateful for the love that surrounds me. Love is a frequency, so it's the same energy of like not looking there, not looking here, not looking anywhere for a particular thing, not looking to the 3D to confirm anything to you either. Really, it's just about tapping into that frequency. So if there's something that you feel like you don't have, if you feel like you haven't been in a harmony state, go into you can do just a small meditation to bring more of that energy of 22, the number 22. It means harmony, right? So just closing your eyes right now and feeling into that, and realizing that you have the authority and the ability to change your frequency to whatever number here that you come across as well. So whether it's the energy of triumph with the number 4444, or whether it's the 22 harmony, or whatever other number comes out. So let's shuffle again and see what other numbers are you experiencing at this time. It's that energy of, getting your life in harmony before you can triumph. So, there may be very small things that are going on that are, causing a disharmony or disruption around you. And you are, being that person, or you have to be that person, that take control and authority over your life. So, over your energy signature as well. So, let's see what we get. Another card of 444. You can't make this shit up, right? So heavy into the twos and the fours. I think it is, 24, 24, 444, 44. Heavy into this energy. Let me know down below, or just commenting. Have you been seeing these numbers already? Because there's no way you're tapping into this reading and just seeing these numbers over again. It's definitely, coded in for us to, sending a us messages that we, need, divinely timed messages. Something that you or I can even, make up. So it's that energy of like looking at you, look at yourself, and reflecting on who you are. This number 4 is about the stability. So stability comes after, you putting in that hard work to lay some beautiful, solid foundations, right? So this is your message because we're just letting you know that the angels see you. This is a message of support for you, and that you can overcome any obstacles that come up one step at a time. So check in on the things that keep you solid. Like, are your relationships good? Or what about, your habits and your overall well-being? So this card is coming up because, it has that energy of, your strong foundations and stability. Stability is like what you're building upon. So maybe you are just putting it together. If you're thinking about success and maybe thinking about triumph and thinking that you haven't been ultimately as triumphant as you know that you can be or will be in the future, think about right now as, this has been your time to put the building blocks together for a solid foundation. So you building an empire requires a lot of skill because in this industry, well, in the world that we're going into now, is the energy of people having to, have a lot of skills. This is a Renaissance era, right? So we have to be, Renaissance people who are just, good at multiple things just because they have been into multiple things over the lifespan of, just who they are as a person, and now they're using those things that they find enjoyable in order to bring them success. So it's really not all about, being some extremely savvy, business person, even though you could be that as well, and that is a skill. But your stability, it really talks about the energy of, what have you been doing, even if it's inner work, so that you do one thing really well, but another thing that you have to be very focused on is the fact that it takes mental fortitude in order to, bring things into the physical. So that's what this channel is all about, It's all about that energy of not being afraid to, be yourself and, do whatever you do really well out to the world, but also taking care of that inner world. And that's what the harmony is about. So you are a physical side, but you have a spiritual side, and you can connect to that spiritual side in small ways. Just think about this. We often don't think about how often or how much great work our heart is doing for us, or our lungs, or our kidneys, or any of the systems in our internal physical body. But if there was a problem, you would know, and then you would become more aware of your body and saying, well, I can't do this because of this issue, or I can't do that because of this. So this card of stability is already, setting a foundation of things in place. Well, I don't do this because I don't like the way it is. I don't do this because I don't like the way it feels. I don't do this because of this or that reason. And it's not really about shaming yourself or, being upset with yourself. It's like when you're building a foundation, or even if you're just building a whole empire, if you're doing it with the basics, that, everything may not be completely, it's like buying a house. Some people can, bring in all of their old furniture, or, buy all new furniture. But if this is your first house, first apartment, if you're now receiving that blessing, it is not a bad thing for you to be like, okay, well, I don't have all of my furniture, so I'm going to start with, getting this couch that I see and I like, and then I'm going to build my living room off of that, and then I already have a great bed, so then I'm going to, build off of that. Or if you're building up an office, you might like, I only have one piece of equipment and an office chair, but then you get a desk that matches the office chair, just thinking about that, So inner work and healing is also It's like an energetic signature of this card, right? So it's that plus the positive solutions that are available to you. So you, like I said, you may only have one piece of furniture or one thing that you do really well. Using that solution and working it over and over again, right? And then as you do that, as you use the positive solutions that are available to you more and more, make themselves aware and known to you, because there are, for one problem, there are a million solutions. I truly believe that. For one problem, there are a billion. As many people as there are on the planet, there are that many ways for that issue to be solved, right? So, this is definitely the energy of you celebrating your hard work and being able to reap those rewards. And your affirmation here is, I am strong, steady, and supported. Supported. Even when we think about stability, it's that energy of support. The foundation supports the rest of the house. It supports the rest of, whatever. So you may not be a $1,000 business yet, but it's your ability to make hundreds, or it's your ability to make $10 that compounds to 20, that compounds to 100, that compounds to 1,000, that compounds to 100,000, that compounds to up and up and up. You understand? So the only cap that you really have is an energetic cap, right? So it's about destroying those mental and energetic belief sources. Let's go ahead and get another. Let me know that you are liking this energy here. Okay. Sorry. Okay. The card that popped out is the, how many times can we say, security and stability and harmony. So when you're thinking about building something, even if you are a team, or if you are just as one of a team of one, and you have like an energetic team, you always have that, right, around you. So it's about being, in harmony with yourself, like the energetic and the physical sides of yourself. That brings the stability and the security that you're, looking for and living for. So we also have the number 808 coming out, which 808, like I said, is another building block. All of this feels like you are, building. There's a foundation here that you are building, right? And, just being a part of that is very lucrative. And knowing that you are doing it yourself is not physically doing it yourself. So, you're not energetic. Excuse me. You may be physically doing it yourself, but you are energetically doing it with a very supportive and strong team. And there are, literally for one person, there's a collection of people that it took to make you as a person, right? So there is, so much more to you than just the energy of, one person. Even if it's just you in building whatever you're building by yourself right now, it doesn't matter, because there is a whole energetic team that is there for you. And another thing that you can get in the frequency of is, sending that team energetically out to accomplish things for you, and to bring clients to you, to bring, asking your spirit team. Like, so let's say that you do really well at making whatever it is, like maybe you're working with your hands and you do really great at that, but you're not the best at marketing. So send a person on your spirit team out and let them market for you. Say now that spirit is divinely bringing every person who is a frequency match to my energetic signature to me right now, and that energy of them bringing it to me brings me more security, more stability, and more harmony within myself, because I get to focus on the things that I truly care about, and that really helps me to triumph, right? So the number 808, 808, 808, about security. So 808 is telling you to ask us a question right now. It's like, are you maintaining an abundance mindset, right? So in order to really get all of these things that you are actually desiring, you have to maintain a certain frequency, right? So you can't be in the energy of harmony and, being emotionally stable and secure right now, and then, changing your mind, later, because it disrupts your own frequency. So it's kind of that, being a tree planted by the water and, allowing the energy of the sun to gravitate towards you and to take from that. Why not even having to move, right? Or allowing the waters to come to you, whether that's, washing up on you, like the saying says, a tree planted by the water, and, whatever you do will prosper, things of that nature. But it's that energy of, a tree doesn't have to go out and find sustenance, and there's an energy to that, and we all can tap into that divine energy. Not to say that you don't have to do anything, because obviously when we're thinking about harmony, right, the card of harmony is the one that's telling you, hey, you do have to do something, right? But like I said, you could be focusing on the one thing that you do really, really, really well, and then for the other things, you are, just sending out the energetic signature for your spirit team to do it for you. So, now is the time to examine your finances as well. It could be a great time to do that, because financial stability is very, very possible at this time. And you may already, like I said, have been on this path. So you may be a business owner, and it may not be a quote unquote, right, quote unquote, spiritual business, but what you understand is that, every business is a spiritual business if you are a spiritual person and you're within that business. So you don't have to worry about, making adjustments to your energy on that level, or your marketing plan on that level, but allowing the back end of what you do with the spirit to manifest that abundance in your life, right? So if not if you're not already on that path, you're just daily checking in on your money. So if you don't know this already, I'm going to give you a proven fact, okay? So a proven fact of this is that when you track something, listen very carefully, when you track something, you are more prone to see the effects of it, and it's easier to compound. So I'll give you an example, just so you can understand what I'm saying and it doesn't sound so fumbled. So it was shown in a study that people who track their weight daily, doing daily weigh-ins, were more likely to lose more weight. Not just because you are monitoring everything and counting calories, and also, weighing your food and, planning it out and doing a lot of meal prepping, which you do that as well. But there is something that naturally and energetically happens within you, that once you are tracking your weight daily, it tips off that spiritual side of you, that you're taking something seriously. So there's so many things that we think about daily, and if you make daily one habit something that you want to see increase, whether that be money, weight, whatever it is that you want to see increase, or you want to see a significant change, the first thing that you have to do is start tracking. Immediately start tracking. I would just say, for the first week or 2 weeks of the month, track, and then in the second week, this is where you can see where you can make adjustments to create a more solid foundation. Even like small changes can lead to a stronger sense of safety and security. So embrace any chance encounters that are cropping up around you as well. When you're seeing this number of 808, this is telling you that, you are going to see more things happening, and it seems more like serendipity in that energy, right? Just things more seeming like miraculously cropping up. And I can tell you, like even with weight, I have seen that as well. When you track your weight, 100% you will see that decrease, and you may do it, and this is your call to be more intentional and determined. So you may be determined in a certain part of your life, right, with the Triumph card coming out, but there are other parts where you are, needing to be even more determined. So how determined you are at work, be that determined in your side hustle, or how determined you are in your side hustle, be that determined in your weight loss, or whatever you are going through right now energetically. This is a collective reading, so but it's that energy of whatever changes that you're seeing, whatever encounters that you're this from Erin. I can't remember her last Lyons. There it is, Erin Lyons. And she said something about having like a success tracker. So I started that. I just got a little notebook from the like Dollar Tree. Just because I have so many notebooks, so I definitely did not at all need a new one. But I got one anyway because new things excite us, and even just spending $1 at a store and getting something new can be a great way to, satiate. So let's say you are saving large amounts of money and you kind of feel constrained and you're like, okay, I've been saving so much, I want to enjoy what I'm saving and all of that. Don't go completely left field and just start spending all of your money. Don't do that. Spend where necessary, of course, but just making that energy of there's also a physical amount of security that we have to have. So not just spending because energetically it's going to return to you, but physically knowing that you have to exert energy. Excuse me, you have to exert energy in order to get the things that you want. So being more determined about that as well. So this time, at this time when you're seeing this number, it may present a surprise opportunity, and this is an opportunity for trust or partnership. So partnership, trusting the divine, partnering with the divine, co-creation. Also, maybe you are building a team, like it's been a team of one for so long that you're like, what, I have so many new responsibilities that I need like at least one person working with me. And you have to trust a person to come into your building, or just come into your energy and take something off your plate that you're so used to doing. It requires trust of a partnership, but understanding that even if it's just trusting clients to come in and do the things that y'all are agreeing upon, right? So it's that type of energy, that type of trust that makes an abundant future and lets you know that that future is attainable for all of us, right? I don't know what it is. It's hard. I'm like ready to do like a digital detox of a lot of stuff because I'm like, anyway, let me not get frustrated. Okay, so keep your mind focused on abundance, right? That's how you have to get yourself, because I really was about to go off on like a tangent. But really the problem really lies within ourselves. So not making an outward problem. Keeping your mind focused on abundance. So that's what I mentioned before about harmony and frequency. If you send out a frequency and a harmony, it is work. It is spiritual work in order to stay inside of that frequency and maintain it, right? But it does require making small changes. It may be financial, whatever, something that just adds to something big. So right now you are reflecting on the path that is behind you as you move forward. So not using the past as like a thing that is stopping you up, but is just reflecting so that hey, there's a mistake that I don't want to make anymore. And it could just not be a mistake as far as what you're doing, but as far as your determination. So if you start, I know I have this problem as well, I'll start something and then I'll stop, and then I'll start and I'll stop, but that's because your frequency changes. So you may be having a good day, you may be having a bad day. You want to make your business or whatever you're doing, you want to make your life not determined so much about the frequency that you're holding at any moment, like any second, but making it be one that is holding your frequency as an overall. So overall, more often you are inside of the energy of security, harmony, and stability and triumph. You're not holding yourself to negative standards or anything of that nature, and you're able to recover quickly, like how you just saw me do it. But just recover quickly and reflect on that as well as you move forward. So also this is about cooperation and lucky encounters. Like I said, things just cropping up for you. So your affirmation is: my actions create consistent abundance. It's actually, my actions create constant abundance. But, you know, every action, whether that's, intentionally brushing your teeth or, whatever it is, whatever you're doing, can create that abundance for you. Let's go ahead and get another. Let me know if you're enjoying this reading. Alright, the card that, listen, it literally popped right here, so you know I'm not making this up at all. Like, what the hell? What the helly, as the kids say. What do the kids say? What the helly? Very strong energy right now. Very, very, very strong. 2424. 2424 is the energy of unconditional love. So when you're looking at even just this energy of being consistently and constantly supported, being consistently and constantly secure in yourself, in your abilities, being in harmony with the real energy of who you are. It's very easy to get swept up in all of the daily actions and, not feeling, not knowing exactly if this energy is here for you, or, sometimes not knowing if you're coming or going, whatever, not knowing if you will triumph. Sometimes we have questions about that, but, this energy here of, unconditional love, security, stability is letting you know that you have never been apart from all that really is, that energy, that source energy. And there's, beauty in that, because when you have that overall energy and you know that about yourself, you are very aware of that. There's nothing that you actually will be doing that will fail you. That's why I said all of your actions are defined with the security card. The way you scratch your behind may just be perfect, right? So the number 24 is the energy of you got this. And if you don't believe us, more like you don't believe in yourself, right? So you need to tap into your confidence and really feel how fabulous and strong you are. You may be a bit anxious or worried about a particular problem right now, but just remember, you are practically overflowing with a powerful potential. Understand and accept that right now. I say that you are practically overflowing with powerful potential. Accept this possibility of just being disappointed, right? So when you have the energy of triumph, accept that for an overall triumph in your life, and you kind of see these energies, even these cards, like it's, and how you understand this. I love this because it's kind of like a compounding nature. So you have the fours, right? And they have that same structure, but a compound on that energy is the energy of, the things that you've learning, the 4 4 4 4, and the 4 4, at lower levels. So the 808 is about looking back on your journey, right? So when you look back on your journey, you may have, made a mistake here, made a mistake there, but you have continued to move towards your overall triumph of life. And it takes a lot of unconditional love that you have to have for yourself in order to really keep going, like in order to, keep processing, or, keep growing. Like me personally, I'm learning just now. I'm just learning how to crochet. And, the beginnings of what I'm doing, it hasn't been like people who have been doing this for like 5 years, right? Obviously. But I have to, get over that. There's a certain block that we have in the beginning of doing anything. If you go look this up, it's like a success block of like you'll go months and months, and the increases will be very small, very small, very small, and then all of that over time. Looking at this number, right? The 808, all of that compounds over time, right? So even if you look at just these numbers doubling up, the beginning stages it's 2 2. So just coming into harmony within yourself. The beginning stages is the 4 4. Not allowing the world or anyone else to shake the confidence and stability that you have found within yourself. And then accepting the possibility of disappointment, and just do it anyway. Do it anyway. You may fail. I'm not saying that you won't, but the only time that you ever actually fail is when you stop. So a momentary failure or a momentary doing something wrong, even when I'm talking about crochet, when you get something wrong in a crochet, all you have to do, you don't have to throw out the entire project. You have to frog it just a little bit. So that means just intricately pulling at the thread and like seeing where you went wrong, seeing where you got something wrong, pulling at it, and then letting it be undone. Not throwing away the whole project, right? Just very slightly tugging at the project, right? And allowing the failure that you did, like I said on the 808, just looking back at the project and looking where you made a misstep, and then understanding that when you correct these missteps, what you originally did, instead of just moving on, now the energy that you have is compounded, because who we are as humans is that, energy of being able to sit back, self-reflect, and not just reflect on yourself, but reflect on the world. So that as well can be really helpful to let you know. And now is the time to let yourself really shine. So don't be afraid of that. So, with this card coming out of the 2424, this is about assessing goals and strengths, opening up to the infinite love. This is also the card, just telling you about balance, compassion, and joy, having that for yourself. So you may be very balanced in the beginning and in harmony, right? But when you make a mistake or you have a shaky moment, right? It's about, not over criticizing yourself and just allowing for compassion to come in, and finding joy in your journey along the way. And that's how you spiral upwards, right? Everything is a compound movement from the moment that you have been born, right? So it takes a certain amount of self-assurance to be scared and do it anyway. That's your quote for the day I'm hearing, be scared but do it anyway. Be scared but do it anyway. Be scared but do it anyway. So the affirmation for the number 2424 is, I refuse to let fear of failure hold me back. I refuse to let fear of failure hold me back. I refuse to let fear of failure hold me back. So, that is your energetic aura, reading. As far as the numbers go, we will, just tap into tarot slightly, just to see exactly, what themes and messages are still here for you, of course. So, let's go ahead and take a look and see, just as far as tarot. The Empress, which is all about abundance at the bottom of the deck. Alright. The 4 coming out. Okay, you can't fake these numbers, babes. You just can't fake them. You can't shake them. Okay. The energy of the 4 of Pentacles coming out in the upright, it really came out because, I understand that energy of, when you're looking at stability, when you're looking at security, you may be looking at things like, oh, I don't want this to run out. That's why the 4 of Pentacles, like the visual aspect of it, is like the person holding on and being very rigid about their abundance, and just trying to hold on to everything. So imagine like taking a deep breath right now. Let's do it. instead of letting it out, you just held that breath because you were like, I'm scared. I may never get more. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. So the Pentacles is all about, possessions and things of that nature. So never be, too possessive to where like even, possessive over possessions or possessive over, changes happening in your life because you're resistant to changes. This is also, that card of the Four of Pentacles is that card of, being resistant to changes because you are, just scared. Also it's about, control. So not being afraid of going over obstacles. When we look at control and resistant to changes, it's like a shadowy confinement that you have where you're like sitting with all that you have right now, and you're focusing your energy on all that you have currently, but you don't realize that there is so much more that is open to you, right? Because you're trying to guard so tightly things and possessions that aren't even really yours. Like, what's crazy? We never really own anything, right? Because when we die, it goes back into the collective, right? So, what is the point of being ultra materialistic anyway when the materials don't matter? You matter, right? I love that for you. I hope you, internalize that. But, just the message is letting you know that although you have reached a wonderful state of success, it may be a good time to take a closer look at your priorities. So, are you spending too much time on personal affluence or on materialistic things or possessions, or just even the accumulation of wealth? You may have already accumulated a lot of wealth and just social status already, but you should continue, of course, to take pride in all that you have achieved, but don't let the illusion, this person here, when they're scared and resisting change, they're letting the illusion of lack get to them, or the illusion of physical wealth get into the way of like who you really are, right? So it's great to be abundant as well, and it's great to have a certain amount of stability, but not getting trapped into that. So as much as we talk about, triumph and abundance overflowing, a great part of abundance is that you never have to be constricted or too tightly wound up about things coming and going, because you realize that there's always more for you, even if you don't know how it's going to get to you. That's the energy of, being in balance, harmony, and unconditional love, because you're not fearing, right? So you should continue to take pride in all that you have achieved, of course, but don't let it get in the way of who you really are. And this card is also, a point that tells you that this is a desire for, stability, maybe settling down or just getting a more conservative lifestyle. Not because you need to constrict your finances, but because you realize that you don't need material possessions in order to make you happier. Like, you already have so much. So it's like people, I think I talked about this in the reading yesterday too, but whenever a reading comes up, it's always more and more compound, right? So it's always like, no matter what deck I use, if I'm tapping into your energy right now, you resonate with this energy as well. So it's energy of, opulence and abundance. You've had that and you've already had it for a while. And even if you don't realize how abundant you have been, it's like not feeling the need to feel an emotional void by holding on to things that are a mask for a lack of security in your emotional life, right? An emotional void is maybe causing you to go out and acquire physical things. And I know because I've, have my own things with that, right? Just from getting jobs and getting, new levels of money, getting unlocked as you get older and whatever. And now you're looking at, I want to buy the things that I wanted as a kid, or I want to buy the things that blah, 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 that you think are going to make you happy. And eventually, when you are at a place of wealth like you are, if you haven't reached that yet, you're coming to it, right? So get there, and you definitely wouldn't understand what I'm talking about here. But for the ones who have already achieved the material security, it's like there's no amount of material security that will fill the emotional void. And that's what the person who is going through the Four of Pentacles goes through, right? So you don't have to be in that energy of, seeking outwardly for physical things, because you are the most important thing that you will ever own and possess, right? Your spirit is the most precious thing that you will own and possessed, but you don't think about that during this lifetime. And there's a certain reason for that, because um be overly you don't need to overly consume, or you don't need to overly think you came into this life experience to experience physical things. So I would never down talk about new things, so I'm not talking down to you for that. But like I said, even if you're someone who's very, very wealthy, it will help you to go into places like that you usually don't normally shop at, because you deem them as too cheap, quote unquote, to get things that are, very simplistic, that can just help you. Like I said, with the success tracker, I got a very cute, small, it's like the size of one of these cards, right? $1. Obviously, you and I make more than $1. Whatever, how much you making more than $1, right? So, that doesn't feel like a big win, quote unquote. But when you look at the energy of, I don't actually even need any. I just told you, I got like 1,000 notebooks, and half of them are not even filled up. It's ridiculous, right? So you already have possessions, but sometimes you are looking like, oh, well, if I had a new thing, then. So it's always that downfall of if then, if I have this, then I will be happy. If I get to this level, then I will feel triumphant, and realizing that you're already triumphant, very triumphant, of course. So, not focusing on the lack of security. All right, let's go ahead and get another card. I love doing like this in-depth reading. I don't know, this really calling to me. All right, the World card, the World. So, it's like instantly a quote popped in my head. What is it of a person to like gain the world but lose their soul? So this energy, when we're talking about you being so financially secure, there's only so much that the world is going to give you. It's also about bringing the frequency of heaven to earth, right? Bringing the frequency of the heavens into the actual world, because that's how you actually achieve not just financial abundance. Of course, you get that from having that sort of emotional security, and having that harmony, having that stability, right? It gives you emotional security. But I know you can look at someone like with all the money in the world, but if they don't have their health, they will give anything for that, right? And different scenarios like that will let you know that money isn't everything. Even when you're looking at the world card is of the major arcana, but there's just so much more to you than the physical world manifestations. And obviously, like I said, there's nothing wrong with the physical manifestations. We are all seeking that. We are physical and spiritual. So it's just about not allowing for balance, and not having one thing overtake the other, right? So the World card is the one that we have here. Let's get some more energy on that. So the World card is a card of just the universe and ascension, new opportunities coming to you at this time, a whole lot of clarity, completion, success, triumph again coming up as a key here, right? Spiritual growth, celebration. So when you gain the whole world, people who have Jim Carrey actually said this. He said that I wish that everyone could achieve everything that they ever wanted physically, so that they could see that that's not it and that's not the answer. So it's kind of when you reach that internal lifestyle before you get the physical manifestations, it is easier for you to enjoy the opulence that is the security, the opulence, the abundance that is being given to you, because you already realize that physical things don't make or break you, right? So this is definitely an indication that you are achieving your fullest potential here, and you have the ability to achieve your fullest potential, and that you don't have to worry about that. So there is a synthesis of success, fulfillment, and triumphant in your undertaking. So you definitely have to rise to that new level of excitement and just spiritual fulfillment, and learning things that gives you just a better understanding, or not even learning, but just being in the frequency of energy transmissions like this one, or one from Aaron Lyons, or any place that you go spiritually and feel filled and renewed, and all of that. That is very helpful, of course. So as a powerful creator of your own story, you now understand, like, just through words, or not just through reading, or through traditional methods. You grow through experiences. So through working out any of the past tribulations, that's how you have reached your triumphs, right? So you're definitely at a new stage of beginning. Let's get two more cards. My phone actually been going for longer than I even expected to do. So my phone's like, girl, you got 20%. Alright, we got the moon card. The moon card. The moon card is very spiritual as well. Just because it's that energy of the not darker side of you, but also the darker side of the world is literally the magician. I'm sorry, magician child. The moon, right? So when the moon comes out, it's dark, and everyone realizes and recognizes like the power of the moon, obviously, because it's the only thing that's really shining as brightly as it is. So this one is all about, using intuition, mystery, imagination, shadow work, even, what you do in the private side, like I said, even your magic, whatever magic that you're working on yourself is, here for you. And you may fall into the mundaneness of, doing the things that you have to do in order to bring yourself a certain level of security and financial abundance, but not losing the magic and joy of life. And definitely this card is telling you that it's powerful sparks of just imagination and inspiration that is feeding invention, creativity, and intuitive discoveries. So this definitely represents an ancient magic that resides within us all. And this is a watery card because it's like with the Pisces as well, so it's considered like a watery card. And the moon addresses our shadow thoughts and our shadow feelings, so nothing wrong with that. Like I said, you have to really look back. It's funny that that card is the card that came out on this one, because I talked about, how you have to look back in order to move forward and just things of that nature. One more card, and then we can cap this reading. Let me know if you have enjoyed what you have been hearing in your ears. And Temperance. Temperance, definitely the card of the ultimate card of balance, even when I just mentioned watery. The only card here is the Earth card. That's the only minor arcana, but everything else is like major, very major. And the Temperance card is the one that is letting you know that, definitely a higher purpose, a higher calling on your life, something bigger, and not even just like a higher purpose. Like maybe your purpose is just to experience an amazing life, and experience unconditional love here in the physical. You don't have to have some major goal in order to feel like accomplished or anything, but it's just that energy of, not feeling not enjoying the spiritual side of you because you're in the physical, or not enjoying the spiritual side of you or not enjoying the physical side because you want to be extra spiritual, and you don't want to like, you basically have to master harmony and balance. So you have that one foot in, one foot out with the tarot. You also have the card here letting you know that don't get too wrapped up in physical possessions, but also, not too worldly, but also, focusing a lot on intention, intuition, the mysteries and the magic, and just whatever lights you up. So like I said, this is about harmony, balance, and just renewal. Finding a what's the word? But like a reinvigoration, right? So also healing and allowing for duality to be in your life. Also, you may be, just connecting with more spirit guides at this time, right? So Temperance encourages us to be mindful of any decisions that we make at this time. And there may be just a need for balance, moderation, or reassessment of whatever personal goals that you have in order to achieve what you will. So in the grand scheme of things, and after everything that you have been through, it is always important to connect with the larger scope of your life. And this gives you another sense of purpose and joy. Like like I said, it doesn't have to be something where you are, inventing the next whatever stupid. I won't say stupid because I love technology. Obviously, we're all using it to be here, but whatever technology that isn't needed or necessary. And maybe you're inventing a new way to do something spiritually. Like you may be creating a new spiritual system, and it may not be for everybody, but it is for you and for whoever is an energetic match to you, who want to go higher and want to be called for something more purposeful than just being focused on the physical or on technology. So I definitely think it would be a high market for anybody who is teaching people or showing people in whatever way about just mind, body, and spirit, things that are not technology, things that are not over processed or over consumption. Like, I definitely think, I'm not on TikTok, but just with the rise of that, it has caused people to go outward and look. Maybe it's in the clothes, maybe it's in the crumble cookies, maybe it's in the, just whatever trends, what are coming up, and people are definitely chasing trends in order to get their worldly needs met. But many people are chasing it to get their spiritual needs met, or because they think their spiritual needs can be met there, right? So asking yourself, what is your greatest block at this time? Is it more of a spiritual? Why do I want to do too many physical things because that's not spiritual of me? Or is it more physical? Well, I've already gained all of the physical things, so now I am looking to tap back in and be of a very high spiritual nature. Whatever it is a journey that will ultimately lead you to your triumph. But you definitely have to just focus on yourself, and just focusing on the things that matter, things that actually make progress in your life. So that is the aura reading. Like I said, throughout the reading, just let me know that you enjoyed it. I will be doing these very, 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 very frequently. It may be with, definitely it will be with like different decks, and just different energies, but I am just enjoying tapping into this and taking some time to set aside and sit with spirit and conversate with that. I definitely consider this a conversation with spirit, so maybe that's what I'll call it, a convo with spirit, and just like going off of whatever energy is being downloaded into the collective energy at the time, because I'm not the only one that's looking for triumphs. Neither are you. I'm not the only one looking for security. You're not the only one looking for security. You're not the only one looking for stability or unconditional love. But a part of this is being smart enough to know that we find all of these things in ourselves before you can, first of all, ever find it in the world. And it's not a bad thing to get things up from the world and things like that, but only things are given to the person who already has them. So having them in a spiritual nature is what allows you to be gifted it in the physical as well. So alright. That is the reading. I definitely appreciate you being here. If you made it to this end of the video, you can do 284. 284. Just to have a certain energetic frequency for the people who actually made it to the end, because some people, even when they're watching relaxing content, don't allow themselves to relax. So if you relaxed throughout this whole video and picked up all of this security, triumph, and amazing abilities that you have, go ahead and leave a 284. You can do a hashtag or whatever, just let me know you made it to the end of the video. Appreciate you.